Hello and welcome to Matt Loves Eurovision. It's my Eurovision 2025 Top 37 countdown. Place number 5, Netherlands, Claude, C'est la vie. Please do click on the subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and like, share and comment below. Top 5 time in my countdown, and it is a relief that the Netherlands are at the contest this year for me to place this highly in my 2025 ranking. Dutch participation was in severe doubt after the brouhaha of last year, which I won't rake over now, so I'm sure most of you are aware of what the sort of stuff that went on last year. But I think a number of the code of conduct changes the contest has put in place, or certainly has put to the fore for 2025, did come about from some of that stuff that happened, and also kind of with the input and agreement of the Dutch delegation. I think the Dutch broadcaster kind of wanted certain steps to be taken so that this would not be a repeat of it. And I think the Netherlands mean business this year. They're sending Congolese-born singer-songwriter Claude to get the sort of result that I think they had been on course to achieve last year. Now, Claude is already an established artist in the Netherlands. He had his first single in 2022, which reached number 1 in the Dutch charts. He also, for his debut album, which was in 2024, that reached the top 10 in the Dutch album charts. He's had several subsequent chart successes with about 4 further singles, and his Eurovision entry has reached number 2 in the Dutch charts, which is his best result since his debut single. And in terms of some of his backstory, he came to the Netherlands as a child, I think around when he was 9 years old. His mother fled the wars in Democratic Republic of Congo with both Claude and his siblings, and they settled and achieved asylum in the Netherlands. Since then, he went on to study hotel management, and dropped out of that, I think, to focus kind of on his musical career, which has done very well. He was an internal selection for the Netherlands. That's been their usual selection method ever since their kind of renaissance from 2013, when they broke the back of their long period of non-qualifications. And although they've had a couple of non-qualifications in the interim, since then they've largely had a great deal of success, including, of course, winning in 2019. Now, Claude speaks Dutch, English and French, and it is those latter 2 languages that we get to hear in his Eurovision entry, C'est la vie. What makes the bilingual approach particularly interesting and unusual is that Claude switches between the 2 languages within the verse, so going from French to English and vice versa, and he does it even within the single line of a verse as well, which makes it quite unusual and stand out. The song overall, though, unlike many of this year's entries, is actually much more of a kind of a standard mould of a modern dance pop song. Catchy up-tempo chorus, fairly structured standard verses, aside notwithstanding kind of the language use, has some slower moments as well, but nothing that is kind of completely wacky or odd. It's very in terms of quite comfortable in terms of that as a package. It's co-written by Claude himself, and it is a tribute to a parent, but in this case specifically his mother. And it's about the fact that she taught him to find the positives in life and life experiences, even when there are setbacks. And given the setbacks and challenges his mother, and of course the rest of his family, must have faced, fleeing as refugees and then settling and making a success in a new land, I think it's something probably few of us can actually really imagine. And I think it really adds some depth and meaning to the song. Now, when I first heard C'est la vie, the thing that first struck me, one of the 2 things that first struck me, was that use of the 2 languages, French and English. Now, I was initially, only for a short time, a little bit dubious about it, wondering did that work, but I think that swiftly passed. And it very quickly, that kind of aspect is something that I really love about the song. The other thing that struck me was, on the first listen, was the richness of Claude's vocal. Then when you add in the story behind the song, the music video, which complements this as well to the story, and it's a really lovely music video, just the overall quality and how catchy it is as well, sort of very instantly catchy, all combines, I think, this to make this a really formidable package that the Netherlands have put forward. He's also a great live singer. He's a performer and a mover as well, a dance mover. And I think it's fair to say, at least in my opinion, I think that the Netherlands has struck gold again in terms of the calibre of the entry that they're sending to the contest. It may not surprise you to know that this is doing very well across the board in fan polls and also in betting odds. Claude is currently in the top 10 in the Eurovision scoreboard app, and that's not always a place that male solo artists do well in. Often they never quite perform quite as highly in the scoreboard app as perhaps you might expect. And this did really well in the AGA fan poll of all the different AGA fan clubs. Betting odds are also looking very positive as well. Very good signs. He is almost nailed on to qualify from the semi-final to the final. I don't think there's any doubt. It doesn't feel like there's much doubt about that, and certainly there's been no indications that that is something that's a risk. And in recent days, he has risen to 4th in the betting to win the contest overall. Now, it is possible that there may be some Eurovision fan favouritism to this, in terms of the type of song it is, but also some of the lingering feeling about Netherlands from last year and what happened, and the love for Europapa. But I do think this actually is a song that could appeal more widely to the public, and I also think this could do well with the juries as well. It's the sort of mainstream high-quality pop that I really wish that the UK could have sent perhaps a bit more often to the contest, without it being a mainstream pop song that feels really quite mid and generic, even if it's very nice. This feels like this has that kind of extra spark that is needed at the contest. I really think this has got to be considered a contender to win. I don't think it's as strong a favourite, certainly again at the time of recording this. It doesn't seem maybe quite as strong as favourite as Sweden, Austria and France, but I do think Claude is very much in the mix to bring the Netherlands a potential 6th Eurovision win. Do, of course, please look at my website, www.mattloveseurovision.com, for the blog version of this review. And do let me know what you think of the song, how it might do, also what your number 5 is in your own personal rankings. And join me again soon as we enter the final 4 of my countdown. Take care for now.